Hi, how's it going?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's so nice to see you. I feel like it's been ages, but I've been obviously following along with everything that you're doing. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm good. Whatever day it is now, just kind of getting through it. How are you doing? How's New York?
New York is good. I've been hunkered down upstate, so I've been out of
Nice.
the city. But I heard that in LA, the stay put orders were extended, and they were just extended in New York too. So,
Oh,
hopefully,
really? Do you
yeah,
know when in New York?
yeah, end of May as of right now. But I'm sure it's gonna.
Ours is like through August. Like they just were like, it's like there's no real timeline. It's just through August. We're like, okay, like wow.
I know it's. We just have to be so patient. We're
Yeah,
patient. But I'm so excited to talk to you. Thank you for coming on SB Loves.
of course.
For anyone joining us, if you don't know Jaclyn, she is the founder of Create and Cultivate, which is an incredible company that is basically a one-stop shop resource for entrepreneurs and people who are looking to expand and grow in their businesses and level up and really have the careers of their dreams. And the reason I wanted to talk to you, other than adoring you, is that this is such an interesting time for a lot of reasons, but one of them being that things are really going digital. And I know that you have been taking your business and kind of turning and pivoting and doing all of those things to still be a resource for all the people who are following along on this journey. So I'm excited to chat with you.
Yeah, lots of pivoting, lots of trying to figure it out. But yeah, here we are.
Here we are. So tell me, just to get rolling, what have you been working on while you've been in quarantine?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy because it's been a long time now that we've been in quarantine. And I think when it first started to now where it is, have been very different things. Because I think initially, much like everyone else, we assumed it wasn't going to be that long of a timeline. But I'm glad that we kind of prepared for the worst in the sense that we basically week one we're like, we need to do a digital event. Like, we need to refocus on digital. And we were lucky in that we've had digital channels for a long time. So we've been active on social media. We've had this blog platform. We've had content. We had our membership. We had a lot of those things. So it really was just like, let's double down on all the things that we already had that maybe weren't getting as much attention or love as our events were. And so the team, they were truly incredible, and they pivoted so fast, and we're really nimble in that. And we started out planning our first summit almost immediately after the stay-at-home order. So now we're working through our second digital summit, which will be summer camp on June 6th, which I'm super excited about. And then we'll also have our beauty summit digitally in July as well. So lots of digital summits, but hopefully they feel a little connected and very create and cultivate like.
That's amazing that you did that so early on, because I think that a lot of business owners were like, let's just wait it out and see what might happen in a week or 2 weeks or a month or however long. So, I mean, you always are kind of paving the way for everyone. So that's surprising that you were first to jump on that. But that was obviously a really smart move. And so, how are you staying motivated through all of this now that it's been so long already?
Yeah, I would lie if I said it wasn't challenging. I think for me, I'm very motivated naturally, and I love getting up and getting emails and getting excited about things. And like, I think the first couple of weeks were really brutal because it was so quiet. Like someone, kind of likened it to those 2 weeks during Christmas where no one's emailing, and it felt like that. But I was just so depressed about it. And now I have to say, like once I just told the team, I'm like, keep operating as if things are normal. Let's keep moving and forging ahead. And now things have gotten a little bit more normal, like 30% more normal. And so for me, it's like those little wins are what keeps me motivated. And obviously keeping the team on and keeping everyone motivated and excited and kind of for what we're doing. And also just our community, like we had 7,000 people watch our Money Move Summit from 50 different countries, which is wild. Like I don't think anyone on our team predicted that. And I think we were just so like almost like happy tears, like crying of like, I can't believe we did it. And like that we have all these amazing women that show up for us.
That is so cool. And so, what was the difference when you started planning that first digital summit? in terms of how your team operated and how you looked at sort of the platform and how to get it all together. What was the difference between that and your in-person events?
Yeah, so this was a whole new world. And, we basically looked at everything online in terms of options, and we didn't really like anything that we saw. And we were basically all kind of in a Zoom chat saying, like, we should just do this our own way and figure out how to make it feel like a Create and Cultivate. And we did. We used like 1,000 different platforms, like Dropbox, Vimeo, Slack, like Squarespace, like you name it. We really kind of used what we know works for us. And it was really innovative, I think, to be the first, kind of online summit that truly felt like an event. But, in my head, at least, I thought it would be a little bit of a lighter lift than our events, and it definitely wasn't. Everyone was all hands on deck all day, from our, event production team to our editorial team to our marketing team. So it was a pretty heavy lift, considering, and it's definitely a huge undertaking for a team like ours. So, but we were very happy with the way it turned out. But I think like on Sunday, we all were joking that we had the same sort of body aches that we normally have after like a big conference. So it was like phantom body aches, because we felt like we had done it.
Well, it's still the same amount of brain power, if not more, since you're doing
Yeah.
new and different. So with that, when I think about your in-person events, because I've been to some and they're so amazing,
Thank you.
a big piece of it is, of course, the speakers and the content and the people that you get to see on stage. But another big component of what makes it so special is the other people in the room with you. So it's networking opportunities and the friendships that are formed. So with this kind of new way of having conferences and events, how do you think that we can still grow those kinds of relationships and connections?
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. I think that is part of the magic of Create and Cultivate is the in-person experience, which I'm hoping we'll be able to get back to eventually. But what we did was we actually had the Slack channel created specifically for Money Move attendees. And there was entertainment networking, marketing networking, engineer networking, whatever it was. And people were going crazy connecting and being part of those conversations, commenting on what they were watching on, the summit itself. So we saw a ton of engagement, which made me, kind of realize, I think, in all of us that people are craving that right now. And I think, especially, when you're isolated 24/7 and like you're online and you can have these conversations, but you're having them with the same sort of people. Where do you meet new people that are very much like the people that you are used to meeting at a Create and Cultivate event? So we're hoping that like these engaged communities are really coming together online. And like, we also have our membership. And so we have a Slack channel for our membership where they can kind of connect and engage and kind of have conversations. But yeah, I mean, I think, look, like, I don't think anything replaces the feeling of an event. I read this piece, well, I think it was in the New York Times, but I could be wrong. But Dave Grohl wrote it from Foo Fighters about his experience with live concerts and, how he just is like, there's no other feeling in the world. And that's kind of how I feel about Create and Cultivate events is, I think in-person events are such a magical thing. So I think digital will only enhance that and give us further reach, which I think is so incredible. But I think it's hard to replace for sure.
For sure. But, to your point with talking about those connections that were happening, in your Slack channels and in those various networking groups, everybody also has the time to put in the effort right now for the networking. So in some ways it's, a little bit more tricky, but in other ways we can really take this opportunity to connect with more people and, put in the effort that maybe we wouldn't be able to put in if our lives were as filled and chaotic as they usually are. So there's definitely a bright side to that.
Definitely. And we've been even saying on Create and Cultivate, like if there's someone that you wanted to have a meeting with, like they might have some time right now, like reach out, see if they'll do a 15-minute Zoom chat with you and connect in that way and see, what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say, because I think right now, no matter what business you're in, whether it's the food industry or my industry, the fashion industry, everyone is looking for what's the pivot, what's the right way to take on a new direction. And some of us, I think, are having a harder time than others if we're used to that in-person service or in-person interaction. So what advice do you have for business owners kind of across all boards with finding the right magic to take their business in a new direction?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, it's important to go digital and figure out a way to run your business digitally in some way, shape, or form. So whether that's curbside, whether that's delivery, whether that's e-commerce, whether that's whatever it may be, double down on it, invest in it, figure out the website, launch your social media, whatever it is. Like, this isn't a trend, and this isn't a temporary thing. I think it's something that's going to stay and stay for a long time. So I think it's just about getting on board with that as quickly as possible. And there's ways you can do it that are so inexpensive and not super, timely and costly that you can do it. So I think that's first and foremost. And I think if your business is unable to do that, thinking through, what the new normal is going to mean for you, and is it worth the sort of cost benefit analysis to say, like, is it worth keeping our doors open, which is a painful conversation to have with yourself. But I think there's just some industries that can't pivot this hard and quick. But there's so many tools that are just amazing online that, hopefully a lot, especially in fashion, e-commerce, like knowing that people are home and like purchasing because they're like retail therapy, like get on that and like see how you can kind of be part of that conversation, whether it's a give back, kind of narrative, or, something that's specific to the needs that are needed during quarantine. Like, how can you move quickly on that? So I've been impressed on how people have been, kind of shifting and using their, different avenues to kind of, make it relevant during this time. But I think it's just knowing, like you said at the beginning, so many people were like, let's just wait it out. I think at this point, like, you have to stop and you have to start doing something.
Yeah, it's all about finding that momentum and moving forward. And actually, that's sort of a great segue to my next question. So social engagements, as we know, are way, way, way up. And it's an amazing time to connect with people on platforms like this. I mean, that's why I'm doing this and why we're here having this conversation. So with that in mind, there's also a lot more noise on social media. There's a lot more competition to get your storyline seen, to get the connection with your right target audience. So what would you say in terms of like honing in on a social media strategy right now and, finding the right clients or the right connections so that we all do come out of this with some growth in our business?
Yeah, I mean, I would say consistency is key. Keeping to the same messaging, the same style, the same thing that are known for or doing. Or if you're going to launch something, keep doing it, keep sticking to it, keep a schedule. I think that's really important because there is a lot of people doing so much online, and it's hard to even keep track of everything. And I would also just say that I think being authentic to the message and being sympathetic to the situation is really important too when it comes to social media, and not just spouting out like, buy my products, buy my products, buy my products, but really thinking through, what makes sense for the narrative and the tone right now. And then also, thinking about who are people who have like-minded audiences to what you're doing and how can you collaborate together to grow even more so.
Yeah.
Hey, Krista.
So we got to give her a shout out because she just popped in here to join us. So let's have a fun question moment. So obviously what we wear every day can set the tone for how we act, how we carry ourselves, our confidence, all of that. But now this is the extent of it, right? Like, we're getting head and shoulders, if that. We're all sitting behind screens. So what do you think about personal style in a time like this, especially because if anyone here has been to the Create and Cultivate conferences, it's like the best people watching, the best outfit inspo. These gals come dressed to the nines. So we're missing that a little bit right now. What do you think?
Totally missing it. And I think, it was really cute with like the Money Move Summit is people were taking selfies and they got dressed up for the event, which I thought was really sweet. I mean, I think clothes are very weird right now. Like, just, I'm like, I can't remember the last time I wore shoes. Like, it's so weird. And I think it's also like, I remember I bought these really cute dresses for our South by event and like our events in Coachella that we were going to be doing and stuff. And like, they're just sitting in my closet. And one day I was like, fuck it, I'm going to wear that on a live. Like, I don't care. Like, like, it's hard because it's like, it feels like you're saving your outfit for when things get back to normal. But I think it's just indulging in those little things right now when you can that make you feel good. And if sweatpants make you feel good, great. And if getting dressed up makes you feel good, great. And I think it's just important to kind of keep whatever's making you feel sane or motivated or excited to just go in that direction and kind of do what you need to survive this and feel good,
Yeah, I mean, it does make your mood, it uplifts your mood, it makes you function differently. it was interesting the other day. I was talking to someone who said, we keep all saying that we want to go back to how it was. Like, I can't wait to get back to my life. But really, it's about getting forward. We're going to go back. We're going to go forward. Things are going to change. Style, business, all of these things are evolving, whether we like it or not. So it's about, looking forward and not really dwelling on what it was, because this hasn't happened before. It's going to.
Totally, and especially in the fashion world. I mean, I've been seeing a lot and reading a lot about how they want to get rid of seasons because, like, this whole supply chain of no one ordering for whatever it is, like, they can't recover from that. And I think that's an interesting thing that might disrupt an industry that's been doing it that way forever. So I think there's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of things that were commonplace in the norm for so long, starting to evolve and change.
Yeah. And on that note, so we talked a little bit about silver linings, but what do you think are going to be sort of the biggest lasting effects going forward? Clearly we're going digital, that is for sure. What else do you think is going to change?
I think remote work will become far more normalized. I think it was something that was already kind of starting to happen a little bit. And I think now that everyone just got thrown into it, people are figuring it out and making it work. And, like, I think longer term, there'll be more flexible work in that way. I think that's first and foremost. I think everything will have a digital component at the end of the day. I also think more businesses will start to diversify and not rely so heavily on one revenue stream that could be easily taken away by something like this.
That's so interesting. So it's looking kind of this way. So is it product or passive income or conferences, in-person, digital? There's a lot of new ways
Yep.
to find to make money now. Yeah,
Definitely.
very interesting. So what's inspiring you right now?
I think, like, we actually just moved into a new house, and it was super, thank you. It's super weird timing. And it was all kind of going down when all this started happening. And I think it's been a nice distraction because I've just been, decorating and it's all new. It's like all new things. So it's like new house, new neighborhood, new streets, new whatever. Like, so I think that's been really nice, honestly, and a welcome distraction from, basically, like, being in our home that we were in forever. So it's like, I feel like that's been what's inspiring me lately is kind of the newness. It almost feels like I'm on vacation because it's like this is all new to me, but it's nice in that way, I think, to just kind of have a new surrounding during a time when you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, what's the motivation for moving?
It was also very random as well. We were starting to look for a bigger place, but not seriously. Like, we were like, let's just start looking. And in Los Angeles, it took us a year to find our old place, and, like, put in so many offers, didn't get anything, like, the whole nine. And it was funny, like, we started looking and this one house popped up and I really loved it. And I was like, oh, that's really pretty. Let's, like, go check it out. And we put in an offer and they, like, accepted it. We were like, wait, what? Like, we were like, oh, I don't know if we were, like, that ready, but we were like, well, it feels like it's meant to be. And then, like, the craziness happened. So maybe it was meant to be in some weird way.
Amazing how things fall into place. And look, if you're
Yeah.
going to be working from home, you may as well be working from somewhere new that you love and that
Exactly.
you're excited about. It's a little
Yeah.
bit. So I've been thinking a lot about the things that I want to do when this is over. And at first it was like, oh, I can't wait to hug my friends and I can't wait to grab a drink down the street. And it's like the fantasies are continuing, right? And I have this bucket list going. So what are the things that you most look forward to?
Yeah. I mean, what's funny for me is, like, I actually spent, like, previous to this, I would be on a plane 2 to 3 times a month. And I was always traveling, and I definitely miss it. I miss, like, running around and, like, being in a new city and, planning a big event. Like, so I definitely think traveling for me, and, like, I don't even care if it's for work or vacation or anything, like, just traveling. And then I also think, I miss, like, my family. So my family lives in Florida, and my sister has a newborn. And we had all these plans for her to, like, come out with the baby and, like, hang with us, and, like, because I really want to spend time with her when she's this young. And now it's like I haven't seen her in forever. And so I'm just, like, looking forward to seeing my family after all of this is, like, said and done.
It really reminds us what is important, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah, like, had I known I wouldn't be seeing them for, 6+ months, I'd be like, oh, I would have definitely done things a little differently.
Yeah, so Florida's on the travel list, and where else?
Yes, yeah. Well, we were supposed to go to Hawaii for my birthday in March, and we canceled that. So I would definitely love to go back to Hawaii for sure.
Okay, good. Well, it's good to have things to look forward to. And so I know you mentioned some upcoming digital summits. So in the next year, what are we going to see from Create and Cultivate?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a ton more digitally that we'll be doing. We're launching more product lines. So we have our vegan leather good line that's launching mid-June, which we're really excited about, and it's work essentials. We're coming out with even more office products and things like that. And, you know, my hope is more events, like in real life events. They might look and feel different, but I'm hoping that'll happen sooner rather than later. But you know, I think for us, we're really doubling down on, you know, our podcast, our blog, our books, all the different things that we've been working on. So hopefully those will bring some inspiration and joy to people while, you know, we kind of wait this out.
Yeah, and what a perfect time to be adding functional products like your vegan leather line and also the office supplies because now everyone, I know some of my friends have been like, what desk should I get? If I'm going to work from home, I need the best desk and I need the
Yes.
notebook,
Yeah.
best
I,
pen holder. It's like a whole new world.
Totally, totally. Yeah, it has me rethinking everything. So I'm excited about what we have in the development pipeline, and it'll be very handy for your home office.
Love it. Well, we're excited to see it. Thank you so much for hanging with me on here and for chatting about all these amazing inspirational things that we're all going to take away from this conversation.
Of course, and thank you for having me, and I hope I get to see you soon.
I hope so in person. And anyone tuning in right now, obviously you can find her at Jaclyn Johnson and also at Create and Cultivate. Follow along. You will be amazed at what you will learn and see. I took such a deep dive into the website and blog the other day.
Oh,
Content. So thank you for pumping it out for us and for keeping us inspired.
of course, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a good afternoon. Bye.
Bye.